Some of our Bosmeri and Khajiiti students have come under a misapprehension, repeating the canard that not all the Altmer of Summerset are united behind our glorious Queen Ayrenn. Nothing could be further from the truth. We High Elves have a penchant for witticisms and wordplay that can sometimes be misinterpreted by those newly exposed to our ancient and refined culture. To set the matter straight, I've assembled this brief introduction to our beloved Queen of Eleanor, intending to tell her story in a simple, direct fashion that can be understood by even our new allies in the Aldmeri Dominion. The Altmer, of course, are descended in an unbroken line from the divines who created Nirn, and none more so than the royal family of Eleanor. Ayrenn's father, King Ayrenn of august memory, ruled the Summerset Isles long and well, and exemplified the best traditions of elven ceremoniacy, basing his every decision on precedents laid in the scrolls of praxis. In due time, as ordained by the scrolls, King Ayrenn and his wife, Kinlady Tuinden, conceived a child, who was named Ayrenn, as the praxis dictated. Princess Ayrenn was born on the 5th of the second seed, in the year 555 of the Second Era, a very auspicious date, though I will spare you the reasons why, as you lack the context to comprehend its full significance. However, you can believe me when I tell you that all Summerset, Auradon, and Artaeum celebrated her birth for 55 days. It was foretold that Princess Ayrenn would reflect the restless and turbulent times in which she was born, and so it came to pass. Nimble and quick-witted, she was quick to master the lessons of her tutors, and from an early age often adopted unorthodox approaches to schoolwork. In fact, she sometimes became so engrossed in her independent studies that her whereabouts were unknown for days at a time. She would often return from these field trips with unusual knowledge and display remarkable new skills. One day, in the evening star of the year 573, the entire royal family of Eleanor gathered at the Crystal Tower to celebrate Ayrenn's matriculation to the Sapiarch's Labyrinth, where she was to study Altmeri regal praxis and ceremoniacy for the requisite 3,555 days. But Ayrenn did not arrive. Somewhere between the palace and the tower, the princess had disappeared, and despite a 17th degree inquiry by the Justicars, she was nowhere to be found. The Sapiarchs, however, reported that that night of her disappearance was filled with signs and portents, the constellation of the lady seeming to ride the constellation of the steed, the great orrery spun backward, and a young eaglet was found atop the statue of Topol the Explorer. In due course, Prince Naaman, Ayrenn's eldest brother, was named heir to the throne of Eleanor, and in 575 he matriculated into the labyrinth. Naaman, like his father, was a natural Saria monarch who seemed to have a genuine relish for the rights and duties ordained by tradition for the heir. Indeed, when King Ayrenn ascended to Aetherius in the year 580, Prince Naaman immediately began preparing to speak the 88-day coronation liturgy that would elevate him to the throne in his father's place. Then, on a day unheralded, the unforeseen occurred. Word came from Port Velen on the continent that Princess Ayrenn was on her way to Auradon by swan ship. In wonder and haste, the court of Eleanor took itself to Firsthold to greet her, arriving just in time to welcome her unexpected return. Princess Ayrenn announced that she was prepared, as the eldest heir, to assume the throne of Eleanor, and the High Justicar affirmed that such was indeed her right. She was crowned Queen Ayrenn on the 7th of Frostfall in the year 580. Now, some of you may have heard wild tales about Prince Ayrenn's adventures during her time away from Summerset. That she sailed as first mate with a pirate captain from Anvil, disguised herself as a Dunmer in order to read the indigo tomes in the vaults of Necrom, bested the dervishes of Rahad at their own sword dance, and even outdrank Queen Mabjan Flame Hair of Windhelm in a mead-slamming contest. All are myths and tales, I assure you, preposterous and deeply absurd. Our queen was merely away, preparing for praxis and ceremoniarchy in her own fashion of independent study. Since assuming the throne, she has brought some innovations to the rule of our land, but this is as foretold at the time of her auspicious birth, and the sapiarchs, one and all, have endorsed her modernizations. So you see, students, Ayrenn is undisputed queen of these isles, and all is right and proper, as it should be.